that for the Lord? Are you going to serve the Lord? He said, right, out your own tongue.
I already don't eat crab or lobster.
Give that brother a round of applause. All praise. That's beautiful, right? Right? We're going to keep exhorting you to keep these commandments, because that's brotherly love, right? Go to Leviticus 19 and 17. Why did he get in that? We're going to bring out another commandment. Go to, yes. Okay, you got it.
Exodus 20 and 8. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shut out labor and do all thy work.
Brother, what's today?
Oh, it's today, Saturday.
Yeah, but it's the Sabbath day, right? Which is every Saturday. Meaning you can't do your own pleasure or your own work, right? Meaning you can't go all up and down the streets, right? You can't, party in the muck, doing your thing, chilling with Tanisha, smoking some loud, right? You can't go to the movies, you can't buy anything, right? You can't sell, you can't cook. Just stay at the home, stay at the crib and breathe, right? Watch some Israelite videos, brother. Learn about your nationality. You learned a lot of new things today. We looking at a new man, right? It's a wise brother.
But the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord, thy God. In it thou shalt not do any work. Thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, nor thy manservant.
Right, so nobody in family can do work on the Sabbath day. Bring that up real quick.
This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 19, and verse 17. And it reads, Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thy heart.
Right.
Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor and not suffer sin upon him.
And guess what? That's love, brother. Right? We don't want you to sin. If we did want you to sin, we have an evil eye towards you. Right? Meaning we're fulfilling the curses. Right? Making us another nigga. Right? But instead, we want you to keep the commandments, serve the Heavenly Father, and love your brothers, and raise up a household in the name of the Lord. Go on.
Thou shalt not avenge nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people.
You know anybody that bear grudges? You ever bear a grudge?
Yeah, I bear grudge.
Are you going to keep bearing that grudge?
I've been dropped.
Okay, that's good. Right? And from here on out, you can never bear a grudge. Ever. Right? You think the Lord bears a grudge against you? No, he's very merciful.
But thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. I am the Lord.
You gotta love your neighbor. Who's your neighbor, brother? So everybody you see on this chart, you might take a picture of this. Everybody you see on this chart, these people are your neighbors, alright? Meaning you have to love them, thus said the Lord, according to keeping the commandments, right? That's how you love your neighbors. You gotta tell them the commandments, right? Show them where they're going off, and not suffer sin upon them. And you know those sisters over there? No, they're over there. That was talking to you. You know them? We should go and tell them about the Sabbath day. Huh? Yeah. Stay on Marie. You going to tell them to buy and sell? Oh, you can't do that. We're going to prove it. We can hold that. Go to Nehemiah 10:31. All right, we're going to prove it to you. A lot of people say, what do you mean you can't buy and sell on the Sabbath? You tell them I can't buy food, I can't pay my bill. No, you can't do none of that.
That's right. This is the book of Nehemiah, chapter 10 and verse 31. And it reads, And if the people of the land bring ware or any victuals on the Sabbath day to sell, that we would not buy it of them on the Sabbath or on the holy day.
You heard that, brother?
I'm sorry, I was just trying to make sure I didn't grab my bike. That's wrong.
They
Make sure you don't get my stuff.
They can't buy and sell, brother. Did you buy for that scooter that brought on it today? See, brother? Can't buy and sell now.
There you go.
It's the book of Nehemiah, chapter 10 and verse 31. And it reads, If the people of the land bring ware or any victuals on the Sabbath day to sell, that we would not buy it of them on the Sabbath.
Right? You can't buy and sell on the Sabbath. Not even somebody try to entice you to. You gotta say hell no. Right? You can't say hell yeah. You gotta say hell no. Right?
Wisdom of Solomon 4 and 15. This the people saw and understood it not.
Or hold that one. You can go back to Leviticus 19. Yeah, you go back to Leviticus 19. 18.
Got you. Yeah, sure.
It's the book of Leviticus, chapter 19, and verse 18. And it reads, Thou shalt not avenge nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people, but thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. I am the Lord.
Right? So you gotta love your neighbors as you love yourself. Okay?
Verse 19, Ye shall keep my statutes. Thou shalt not let thy cattle gender with a diverse kind. Thou shalt not sow thy field with mingled seed. Neither shall a garment mingled of linen and woolen come upon thee.
You gotta make sure your garments is 100% cotton, right? 100% whatever fabric, right? We got another precept. Shoes is different, but what we all else got in common? Shirts. What's special about our shirts? What stands out about it?
Look at all the other brothers.
Huh?
You see the same stuff.
Fringes. Right, those are fringes. Why are we wearing those? Let's find out.
Numbers 15 and 38. Speak unto the children of Israel and bid them that they make them fringes in the borders of their garments throughout their generations, and that they put upon the fringe of the border a ribbon of blue.
Right.
And it shall be unto you for a fringe, that ye may look upon it, and remember all the commandments of the Lord.
That ye may what?
Remember all the commandments of the Lord.
That you may remember all the commandments of the Lord, brother. You heard that, brother?
Alright, you ready to go though?
You gotta go and do what? Break the Sabbath?
I gotta ride. I gotta ride.
You gotta go ride.
I can't, I just learned it today, so I'll incorporate it later on. I'm not deciding to just get right into it.
All right, brother. We got the flies for you. We got the flies for you. What's your nationality?
Israelite.
You Israelite.
Right,
What tribe?
Judah.
Right. Yeah, brother. Clap.
Right, brother.
All right, go to Romans chapter 10, verse 18. So the word's going out big time. Ain't nothing you can do about it. Bring out. So Romans 10 and what? Right, so we're the Israelites. We are here to wake up the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Right, bring them back to their real heritage and nationality. Right? We're not going to tell y'all to keep celebrating the Day of the Dead, the 4th of July. We're going to tell you how to teach, keep the Pentecost. Right? Keep the Sabbath. Right? Learn your true language, which is Hebrew, the Lashon Kadash.
It's the book of Romans, chapter 10 and verse 13.
Bring it out.
18, and it reads, But I say, have they not heard? Yes, verily, their sound went into all the earth, and their words into the ends of the world.
Right, so this word is going far out. Ain't nothing you can do about it.
That's right.
Right, you know what? Go to Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7, verse 24.
Get out.
Right? We'll find out that wisdom and knowledge is unmovable. Right? It's forever going to flow. Okay? Bring it out. Bring it out.
It's the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7 and verse 24.
Get out.
And it reads, For wisdom is more moving than any motion. She passeth and goeth through all things by reason of her pureness.
Right. So we declaring wisdom, thus said the Lord.
That's right.
This word is going to go out all throughout the earth, just as it's prophesied. Right? Bring out Matthew 24 and 14.
It's the book of Matthew, chapter 24, and verse 14. And verse 14, and it reads, And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come.
And then shall the end come. So that's why we encourage our people to wake the hell up, know who they are, put on the fringes, right? Keep the Sabbath day, right? Come back to the Heavenly Father, right? Because once we all wake up that elect, then we out of here, right?
That's right.
We're not going to be going through these curses, right? Waking up working for Esau, the so-called white man, which is the goddamn devil that the Bible speaks
right.
of. You got it.
Psalms 119 and 172.
Bring it up.
My tongue shall speak of thy word, for all thy commandments are righteousness.
What do you say?
For all thy commandments are righteousness.
Well, wait a minute. Don't certain Christians and New Testalites don't they say, "Oh, the commandments are done away with"? What did the Lord just say?
For all thy commandments are righteousness.
All the commandments are righteousness. And you got to deal with that. He said all the commandments are righteousness. So what you mean all the commandments are done away with, the Old Testament's done away with? That means he's basically saying it's not righteous no more, right? It's faded away.
Let thy hand help me, for I have chosen thy precepts. I have longed for thy salvation, O Lord,
Right?
and thy law is my delight.
Wait. So like he said, I long for what?
I have longed for thy salvation, O Lord, and thy law is my delight. Let my soul live, and it shall praise thee. Let thy judgments help me.
Let my what?
Let thy judgments help me.
Right, so these commandments are to help us, right? And to help our community. The so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans.
That's right.
Ain't nothing else gonna help us. Not a damn thing. Right? Not Marcus Garvey, right? Not Khalid Muhammad, right? What's another new man on the earth, on the world trying to change things? A lot of people, right? The list goes on. You always got a new face trying to change things. This is the way, this is the answer. Huh? Killer Mike. That fool, right? That coon, he's a coon, man.
That's right.
He's a super coon deluxe, right? Joining hand in hand with his enemies. But what does the Bible tell us about that? Go to Proverbs 11:21. Let's find out what did the Lord say about, joining hand in hand with the wicked and the enemies. What's the end?
Proverbs 11 and 24. There is that scattereth and yet increaseth, and there is that withholdeth more than is meat. 11:21. It's a lot. Proverbs 11 and 21. Though hand join in hand, the wicked shall not be unpunished.
Right, the wicked shall not be unpunished. Hold that, go to Job 9:24 again. Right?
Bring it out.
Hey, brother, you know who's the wicked on the earth?
Yeah.
Who?
White man.
I didn't hear you, brother. Say that again.
White man.
It's the so-called white man. So-called white man. He's the wicked upon the earth. We got a lot of people disagreeing with that. A lot of coons saying otherwise. But we know that he's the wicked upon the earth.
That's right.
But how do we exactly know? You can hold that.
Job 9 and 24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he?
Right, the earth was given into the hands of the wicked, right? So the wicked is the so-called white man.
That's right.
We're going to keep calling him the devil, right? Because that's what he is.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 10 and verse 1. And it reads, the Proverbs of Solomon. A wise son maketh a glad father, but a foolish son is the heaviness of his mother. Treasures of wickedness profit nothing, but righteousness.
Get Psalms 10 and 5. Psalms chapter 10, verse 5, all right?
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 10 and verse 5. And it reads, his ways are always grievous. Thy judgments are far above out of his sight. As for all his enemies, he puffeth at them.
Right? And the enemies of the Lord are the wicked Edomites, so-called white man. Go on.
He has said in his heart, I shall not be moved, for I shall never be in adversity. His mouth is full of cursing and deceit and fraud. Under his tongue is mischief and vanity.
That's the so-called white man for you. All he's telling you, look, it's going to get nice. It's going to get better. Let me help you out. Let's do a deal. Right? The white man is evil, and he's the devil. And he's going to be put into slavery, thus said the Lord. And the white woman, too, got to go into slavery.
That's right. He sitteth in the lurking places of the villages, and the secret places doth he murder the innocent. His eyes are privately set against the poor. He lieth in wait secretly as a lion in his den.
Who's known for killing us in secret places? Right? Tucked all up in the trees. Waiting for you to go off. Right? Give them any type of excuse. They ready to pull up their pistol. Right? And blow your brains out.
He lieth in wait to catch the poor. He doth catch the poor when he draweth him into his net. He croucheth and humbleth himself, and the poor may fall for his strong ones. He has said in his heart, God hath forgotten. He hath hidden his face.
That's what the so-called white man is doing right now, and that's what he's saying. Most I can't see nothing, right? All the atrocities that we've been doing on earth, he forgot it, right? That's the mentality of the so-called white man. But guess what? We're not going to forget, right? The Lord tells us to remember the days of old. You think the Lord forgot anything? Hell no.
He has said in his heart, God hath forgotten. He hideth his face. He will never see it.
And that's the pride of the so-called white man. That red man over there, that's the pride in his heart. Go on.
Arise,
You.
arise, O Yahweh. O Yahweh, lift up thy head. Forget not the humble. Wherefore doth the wicked contemn Yahweh? He hath said in his heart, thou wilt not require it.
Now jump to Psalms chapter 58, verse 1. Right? The Arabics got to go into slavery too.
That's right.
All the nations for that matter. And that's thus said the Lord.
That's right. It's the book of Psalms, chapter 58, and verse 1.
Bring it up.
Sister, what's your nationality? Black? You the color of my boots? Right. So you're not black. What's your real nationality, sister? Well, come closer and we'll tell you.
Right.
There you go. Come on, come on. Bring it out.
Well, hold on. We need your undivided attention first.
Right.
Right? So you believe in the Bible? What's your name? Huh? Iana. You say you do believe in the Bible? Why? 68. Are you think a white man wrote it? All right, we're going to show you something.
Deuteronomy 28 and 68. And the Lord.
Hold on. Go to Job 30 and 30 first. Since you think a white man wrote it, let's bring something up.
Wake them up.
Job chapter 30, verse 30. We're going to show you something, sister. Check this out. Bear with us, the wind blowing. All right.
Job 30 and 30. Job 30 and 30. My skin is black upon me.
What did he say?
My skin is black upon me.
If the white man wrote this, why would he put that in there? Why is he telling us that, it's called in the Bible? Why didn't he say my skin is white upon me? This is Job, an Israelite. All right? If I was the white man, my goal would be to make sure that everybody in this Bible is white, right? Pale skin. But Job is saying, what?
My skin is black upon me, and my bones are burned with heat.
Right? He said my skin is black upon me and my bones are burned with heat. You bring it up.
It's the book of Job, chapter 9, and verse 24. And it reads, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked.
Who runs the world system? White people, right? Why would they call themselves the wicked? Wouldn't it make sense for the white man to call himself the righteous in the Bible? Yeah, right? But the scripture is telling us that the world is given to the hands of the wicked, right? So-called black man wrote this. You got to understand that, right? Go to Revelation 1 to 13.
It's the book of Revelation, chapter 1, and verse 13. And it reads, and in the midst of the 7 candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man, clothed with a garment down to the foot, and girt about the paps with a golden girdle.
He had a long garment on and a golden belt. He was fly. Go on.
His head and his hairs were white like wool.
What texture is wool? Is it silky and stringy, or is it rough and coarse? It's rough and coarse. Right? Which people on earth have rough, coarse, woolly hair? Huh? Our people, right? So-called black, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we have woolly textured hair, right? Mind you, this is Christ.
His head and his hairs were white like wool, as white as snow, and his eyes were as a flame of fire, and his feet like unto fine brass, as if they burned in a furnace.
Sister Ayana, you said, right? Ayana, you take brass, you throw it in the furnace, you pull it out, what color is going to be? Darker or lighter? If you take brass or a penny, throw it in the furnace to pull it out, it's going to get darker or lighter. Darker, right? So it's telling us that his feet It's like fine brass as if it burnt in a furnace, right? Your feet is the same color as the rest of your body, correct? So what color is Christ? Melanated man, very charcoal, right? And keep this in mind. Look, why would the so-called white man put that in there, right? If his whole duty is to make sure the whole world is deceived and make sure that he's the image of God and that he's the chosen, why would he tell us that Christ is a so-called black man, right?
This is the book of Numbers, chapter 12 and verse 10. When the cloud departed from off the tabernacle, and behold, Miriam became leprous, white as snow. So Miriam was changed to a white one, right? And it says, and Aaron looked upon Miriam, and behold, she was leprous. And Aaron said unto Moses, alas, my Lord, I beseech thee, lay not the sin upon us wherein we have sinned, and wherein we have sinned. Let her not be as one dead of the flesh is half consumed when she cometh out of her mother's womb. Right, so if the so-called white man wrote the Bible, why would it be a sin in lepers to be white-skinned? You know what I'm saying? That made no sense. That's all I got to say.
Don't make no sense.
It's the book of Exodus, chapter 4 and verse 6. And it reads, and Yahweh said furthermore unto him, put now thy hand into thy bosom.
And hold on, sister, hold on, one more. The Lord is speaking to Moses. Go on.
And Yahweh said further unto him, put now thy hand into thy bosom.
Your hand in your bosom in your shirt, right? Your garment.
And he put his hand into his bosom. And when he took it out, behold, his hand was leprous as snow.
It was white as snow, right? Go on.
And he said, put thy hand into thy bosom again.
Put it back in his garment. Go on.
And he put his hand into his bosom again, and plucked it out of his bosom, and behold, it was turned again as his other flesh.
And sir, you heard that, sister? He took his hand out of his bosom again, and it be turned as his other flesh. So what was his other flesh? The first time he put his hand in his shirt, pulled it out, it was white. Next time he put it in and took it out, it was like his other flesh. So what was his other flesh? What color? It'd have to be black, right? Or melanated. Does that make sense? So we're telling you that the so-called white man did not write this book. Right? You are an Israelite. That's right. And we can prove it with one verse. Bear with us, just one more. Deuteronomy 28 and 68.
Bring it out.
Now, this is Moses speaking to the Israelites. Bear with us.
It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 68. It reads, and the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
You heard that? That's Moses speaking to the Israelites, saying that you're going to go back into Egypt again. But we have to break down the word Egypt to get a better understanding of this verse.
It's the book of Exodus, chapter 20, verse 2. I am the Lord thy God, which I brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage.
So what does Egypt mean? You know, sister? Read it one more time.
It's the book of Exodus, chapter 20, verse 2. I am the Lord thy God, which I brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage.
Right, Egypt out of the house of bondage. So that's what Egypt is, a house of bondage. What's another way of saying bondage or a house of bondage? Captivity, right? Slavery, being captured, right? So you say you're gonna go back into a house of bondage again, right? Or slavery again, but through what mode of transportation?
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
How did your ancestors come here to America? Boat, right? Slave ship. Go on.
By the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again.
Have you seen your homeland?
And there you shall be sold unto your enemies.
And there, it's like in there, once you get off that boat, you're going to be sold into your enemies, right? Destination A to, point A to point B. Once you get off the boats, you're going to be sold into your enemies. For what?
For bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you.
Right, for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man's going to redeem you, right? Bondmen and bondwomen are slave masters.
That's right.
So which people on earth, which demographic can say, damn, that sounds like my history? Can a white man say that? No. Meaning what? He's not the Israelites. He's not the real Jew. Right?
That's right.
But which people can say, wow, that sounds like me and my history and what happened to us? So-called black people, right? And what would that make us? Huh? Are we going to show you?
It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 29, and verse 1. These are the words of the covenant which the Lord commanded Moses to make with the children of Israel.
No, make with the children of niggas.
To make with the children of Israel.
Nigglets.
To make with the children of Israel.
African Americans.
To make with the children of Israel.
So who is Moses speaking to? Us. And what's our nationality, our real nationality? We're the Jews. We're the Israelites according to the Bible. Right? We're proving that to you by bringing out certain verses. Right? In fact, the whole Bible substantiates that we're real Jews. Right? Does that make sense? That means the white man did not write this book. Right? That means we have to be retaught. Right? Huh? We have to be taught differently. You said what? That's right. We're being taught the white man's way, but that's not the real right way. God. That's not the real right way. So what is the right way? You said what? Are we going to show you Psalm 19:7? Shalom, shalom. We're going to show you the right way, sister.
It's the book of Psalms, chapter 19 and verse 7. The law of Yahweh is perfect, converting the soul. The testimony of Yahweh is sure, making wise the simple.
Right, so this is the truth that's going to convert your soul. Right, you know what else the truth can do for you, sister?
It's the book of John, chapter 8 and verse 32. And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free.
It's going to make you free.
That's right.
Right? You're going to be free, sister. You like that? You like the sound of that? Being free, right? Not being held down by these wicked abominations and these wicked traditions of man, right? And what the white man told you, once you pick up this Bible, you're going to know the truth, right? And that's beautiful, right? And what else is the truth? Go to Psalms 119, 142.
All right. It's the book of Psalm, chapter 119, verse 142. Thy righteousness is an everlasting righteousness, and thy law is the truth.
You heard that, sister? Thy law is the truth, right? What we have right here is the book of the law, statutes, commandments, all right?
It's the book of Psalm, chapter 119, verse 151. Thou art near, O Lord, and all thy commandments are truth.
All thy commandments are truth.
Right.
You know any commandments of the Lord? Let's bring out one. Go to Leviticus 11 and 7.
Bring it out.
So like it's the book of Leviticus, chapter 11 and verse 7. And the swine, though he divide the hoof and be cloven-footed, yet he cheweth not the cud.
You know what swine is? It's pig, right? Although it be cloven-footed and divided of the hoof, it's not properly digesting his meal. Therefore, he's what?
Slaki. He is unclean unto you.
Right, therefore, he's unclean to us, right? Because he doesn't properly digest his meal.
Right.
Right, so he's an abominable animal. Go on.
Of their flesh shall ye not eat, and their carcass shall ye not touch. They are unclean to you.
They are unclean to us. You said what? You don't eat it? That's good, sister. Right? Go on.
Verse 9. These shall ye eat of all that are in the waters. Whatsoever have fins and scales in the waters, in the seas, and in the rivers, them shall ye eat.
Right, whatsoever in the waters, it has to have both fins and scales in order for it to be fit for consumption, right? So what's certain fish in the sea world that have both fins and scales? We're going to tell you. Tilapia, salmon, right? Bass, big mouth bass, perch, whiting, right? Sardines. What else? Trout. Some. Most tuna is clean, right? So you heard that, sister? So let's find out what's unclean. And how do we know it's unclean?
And all that have not fins and scales in the seas and in the rivers, of all that move in the waters, and of any living thing any living thing which is in the waters, they shall be an abomination unto you.
It shall be an abomination to you, meaning filthy, detestable, clean, right? So what's certain fish in the sea world that doesn't have both fins and scales? Shrimp, crab, lobster, mussels, seahorses, octopuses, squid. Those are certain sea world catfish. Those are certain sea animals that doesn't have both fins and scales.
That's right.
Right? Does that make sense? And guess what? This word is going to really tell you how to live. A lot of our people think we know how to live. You know, oh, I don't need nobody to tell me. Guess what? Right? When you eat these abominable animals, you end up falling sick. Right? So you don't know how to live because you don't know how to feed yourself properly. So a lot of our people are lost and confused, which is why we are to bring them the truth through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shai.
That's right.
All right? We're the real Israelites according to the Bible. That's thus said the Lord.
That's right.
All right? I'm going to bring out 3 more verses. All right? Bring out 320.6. Yo, y'all sisters know your nationality? Which? Okay. Well, what's your nationality? Okay.
4-6.
Oh, 4-6.
Oh, Salaki. All right.
Gone.
It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 4 and verse 6. Keep therefore and do them, and this shall be your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations.
Right, keep these laws, statutes, commandments, and this is going to really show you how to live, right? You're going to really be living life, right? Jake say they live life, you know, when they living it up on Saturday and Friday night, going to the parties. That's not really life. You're not really living. They dead. How do we know? Go to, what's that, Proverbs 21:16.
It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 21 and verse 16. It reads this. The man that wandereth out of the way of the congregation, out of the way of understanding, shall remain in the congregation of the dead.
Bring that out one more time.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 21, verse 16. The man that wandereth out of the way of understanding shall remain in the congregation of the dead.
Man that wander out the way of understanding shall be in the congregation of the dead. Perfect. You got it.
It's the book of Ezekiel, chapter 37 and verse 1. The hand of Yahweh was upon me, and carried me out in the spirit of Yahweh, and set me down in the midst of the valley, which was full of bones.
Right? We're going to break it down because we in that valley, right? Full of dry bones, right? And this is deep. This is spiritual. Go on.
And caused me to pass by them round about. And behold, there were very many in the open valley, and lo, they were very dry. And he said unto me, Son of man, can these bones live?
Right? Can these bones live? Meaning these spiritually dead people, can they live? Go on.
And I answered, O Lord, Yahweh, thou knowest. Again he said unto me, prophesy upon these bones.
He said prophesy upon these bones, and that's what we're doing now through the Spirit. Go on.
And say unto them, O ye dry bones, hear the word of Yahweh.